When I moved into a 55 plus community, no one really expected me to live like a homesteader. But here's the truth. These days, the wealth gap is getting bigger every year, where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. If the world keeps getting more expensive, more unpredictable, and even scarier, what is the answer? For me, the answer is clear. I won't let society, big corporations, or the so-called normal way of living dictate my future. I believe we don't have to be scared into following the status quo. We can choose our own different path. Today, I'm going to share 6 ways I've taken control back in a time when everything feels so unpredictable. I was feeling powerless and feeling like my independence was slowly being taken away. There was an over-dependence on others for very basic needs, and in my mind, I'm way too young for that to be happening. Becoming more self-sufficient gives me both happiness and peace of mind. It's more than just saving money. It's about maintaining control over my life and my daily decisions. When I rely less on outside help, I am stronger, more capable, and ready for what the future brings. As a senior, and like many seniors, we talk about not wanting to become a burden to our children or on society. That thought alone weighs heavily on my heart. For me, self-sufficiency is my answer. It's about the skills I already have, not just to survive, but to thrive. Every small step I take reminds me that I can still be resourceful and independent. These choices help me stay healthier, cut costs, and give me a greater sense of security in the years ahead. And honestly, that sense of independence brings me a deep joy that money just can't buy. So here are my 6 ways that I am preparing for the future. The first one is by producing our own food, my husband and I. My turning point came when I was feeling vulnerable to grocery supply chains. Global disruptions, reduced food quality, like additives and preservatives, nutritional value in products, and the negative health impacts like chronic diseases, cancer, linked to the reliance on processed foods. One of the biggest steps my husband and I have taken is to produce more of our own food. For me, this isn't just about eating healthier, it's about protecting ourselves from rising grocery costs and being prepared when unexpected budget expenses pop up. This year, we invested in 2 raised beds right outside our home. From seed, we're planting beans, peppers, bok choy, carrots, and radishes. Simple foods that can stretch into many meals. I've also been experimenting with herbs for new flavors in the kitchen. I've added flowers to attract pollinators and to brighten up our home with a little natural beauty. Growing our food does more than just cut costs. It keeps us active, healthier, and connected to the rhythm of the seasons. And when I walk outside to see food growing, I feel a sense of independence that no grocery store can give me. Looking ahead, our next project is a rain barrel system. Collecting and storing rainwater from our roof gutters means we will have free water for our herbs, flowers, raised beds, and even for washing cars and tools. It's a small step, but it can reduce our future water bills, conserve resources, and helps protect the environment by cutting storm water runoff. For us, it's about embracing sustainable homesteading concepts in a 55 plus retirement community. Each change, whether it's a raised garden bed or a rain barrel, helps us reduce expenses, to live more practically, and to feel secure knowing we're creating a system that works with nature instead of against it. Number 2 is reducing our needs. The thought of consumerism and the push for living with more just doesn't fit my lifestyle anymore. Living on less does. Living on less in retirement not only reduces expenses, but also helps me maintain financial independence. Over time, I've realized that living simply doesn't mean giving up happiness, it means redefining it. By cutting unnecessary purchases, my husband and I no longer have the pressure to constantly keep up. Instead, we simplify our home, our routines, and we focus on the essentials that truly matter. For us, that means preparing wholesome meals at home, growing a portion of our own food right outside our door, and being very thoughtful about how we spend our money and our time. This lifestyle isn't about sacrifice, it's about freedom. Instead of chasing after more, we're choosing what brings real value. A meal filled with homegrown produce from our garden, evenings spent together watching TV on our couch, or socially playing cards at a friend's house. This is actually building a budget that stretches further. And with fewer expenses and less clutter, we've created more space, both physically and emotionally, to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Time with family, walks in nature, and hobbies that bring joy without draining our wallets. Living on less has given us more than what we expected. It's given us peace, security, and the ability to focus on what matters most in this stage of life. Number 3 is learning self-sufficiency. If we are not building our knowledge base on self-sufficiency, that carries significant risk, including greater vulnerability to unexpected challenges, diminished adaptability, and increased dependence on external resources. If we avoid personal growth by not learning new ideas, this can lead to stagnation and poor decision making and a loss of confidence in a rapidly changing world. So we are continuing our education, and we're looking for ways to increase our self-sufficiency, to become more independent. For me, it's about building confidence and resilience for our future. Even when I invest in building projects for my home, the real goal is training my mind to think ahead by using what I already have on hand and staying financially independent. Self-sufficiency often comes down to small, everyday skills that add up over time, like mastering basic maintenance. If we need a repair, we will find resources for help like the library or YouTube. This works great for home maintenance, like repairing a leaky faucet, changing a flapper on a toilet, painting walls, installing a ceiling fan, or fixing a loose cabinet drawer. This saves us hundreds and reduces dependence on outside help. We've also learned to embrace do-it-yourself projects, like making my own cleaning products or cooking bone broth from kitchen scraps, or even tackling small furniture projects like building a raised garden bed. We use our own hands and tools first. This not only saves us money, but gives us a sense of accomplishment. One of the most important shifts has been prioritizing home inspections. We take pantry inventory and we reuse and repurpose things from our own home. Instead of immediately replacing something that's broken, we first try to fix it, or we save it for something that can be repurposed later. This has helped us stretch our household budget and cut down on waste. Learning self-sufficiency is a journey, but each step, no matter how small, builds independence and peace of mind. Number 4 is grocery shopping. Relying solely on supermarkets carries risks. Risks of scarce food resources and poor health outcomes. We do not want to have full reliance on the grocery store supply chains. Since COVID, we have seen increased costs and lack of control over food quality and availability. We are taking on a more diversified approach by integrating self-sufficiency practices combined with traditional grocery shopping to build a more resilient and healthy food system. Saving money at the grocery store has become one of our biggest strategies for staying financially independent and self-sufficient. Last year, our grocery budget went over by 30%, and that was a wake-up call. This year, my husband and I are much more intentional and resourceful. We've created what we call no spend days, where we commit to using only what we already have at home in our pantry and refrigerator, which helps us avoid unnecessary purchases. If we have to go to the grocery store, we plan our meals around what's on sale. We take advantage of store discounts and try to stick to a shopping list. So we only buy what is truly needed. We also keep our pantry stocked with low-cost staples like rice, beans, flour, oats, baking supplies. Buying in bulk where it makes sense helps us save both money and trips to the store. Shopping less frequently reduces stress, saves time, and gives us a better perspective on what we really consume. Whenever possible, we use coupons and store loyalty programs, and we pay attention to seasonal produce for best prices. These small but consistent steps help stretch our grocery budget further and reinforce the habits of thoughtful spending without sacrificing nutrition and enjoyment. Number 5 is simple seasonal cooking and passing it down or paying it forward. Simple seasonal cooking has become one of my favorite ways to combine self-sufficiency. In consideration of the potential negative health effects of processed foods, the environmental impacts of packaging, and the loss of traditional cooking, we knew we wanted to create a connection to food, savings, and sharing. Simply keeping all this to ourselves would be great, but in our twilight years, it's time to give back and share. Eating from our garden does keep meals fresh and interesting. We know that it keeps us healthier because we know where the food is coming from. However, we mostly know that the kitchen is where the heart of the home is. It's encouraging to see the lost art of cooking, and it's growing and it's returning. We hear more about the younger generations making kitchen staples like sourdough bread from scratch and bone broth from scraps and pickled vegetables to preserve any harvest. Food brings a connection and joy that bridges generations. There's a sweet, nostalgic reward to passing on the recipes of our holidays and of our ancestors. Number 6 is financial literacy. I would be negligent to not mention financial literacy because failing to become more self-sufficient and financially literate carries significant risks. Some of these risks are living paycheck to paycheck, overusing credit cards, the fear of never getting ahead, or working well into retirement. Financial literacy is the most important step in staying independent and having a stress-free retirement. For us, we took small incremental steps, starting with a clear budget and sticking to it. Living below our means, utilizing employer retirement accounts, and now we use cash stuffing systems with envelopes to allocate money for specific categories, which keeps spending visible and intentional. The key was to understand our finances. We review our budget regularly, we track our expenses, and we adjust our budget as our needs and circumstances change. We also focus on saving consistently and making smart investments to build long-term financial stability and security. Equally important is mindful spending. Before making a big purchase, we ask ourselves, can we make it ourselves, borrow it, fix it, or do without it entirely? This simple question has saved us hundreds of dollars over the years and has helped us focus on what truly adds value to our lives. By combining careful planning, mindful spending, and regular reflection on our financial goals, we gain both freedom and peace of mind, knowing that we can handle unexpected expenses without stress and continue to live comfortably on our own terms. The joy we have now is knowing that we do not have to burden our daughter to take care of us financially right now, and that is worth every sacrifice we made. Even small steps towards self-sufficiency and a 55 plus retirement community can make a real difference. I don't feel overwhelmed by all the impossibilities because we have started with achievable goals, like planting a garden, learning basic repair skills, and creating a simple budget. Over time, each step compounds, making our life more resilient, more intentional, and more fulfilling. Looking at the bigger picture, self-sufficiency is about a lifestyle where we are less dependent on outside systems, more confident in our abilities, and better prepared to handle uncertainty. This mindset gives us peace of mind and ensures that even when the world feels so unpredictable, we can still thrive and live comfortably. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.